Okay, this is to just look at my latest loose graded figure pickup. It's a Bib Fortuna. So quite recently I picked up this Mexican one, which is this one here. And I had the new Noku, which is this one here already. So this is the latest pickup. It's the Taiwan. It's graded 80 by UKG. So those are my 3 graded bibs, and then the one at the front is from childhood. That's a Hong Kong COO. So obviously the rarest version is the Lili-Ledy burgundy caped version. That's the most desirable out of the regular releases, not including bootlegs and all that sort of stuff. So we'll start with the Hong Kong. So it's got very pink lips, very pale skin. Great figure this. There's the staff he comes with, which we see in the Book of Boba Fett or Mandalorian. Great looking staff. So the main variants of the figure, obviously, apart from the colour of the outer robe, which can be a greenish grey colour or the very rare burgundy colour, you can find variants with the staff as well, in terms of colour. Like it can be a mid-grey, this sort of colour, to a darker grey, and you'll see that with some of these figures. And then with the grey capes themselves, you can find variants with sort of greyish green. I mean, you can see some are more fawn in colour, some are a more olive colour, some are quite greenish in colour. You can also see variants in terms of the lips, the sort of amount of pink used, the skin tone. Obviously the Mexican looks a lot more tanned in a way, where the holes in the feet are placed as well. So this is the regular Hong Kong figure. You can see differences with the lining of the outer. So this has got a sort of greenish lining to it. Really nice velvety material. It's a great figure, this one. I'll have to get the vintage collection version soon. Great figure. I mean, I think this one would grade quite well if I sent it in for grading. It's not loose at all. It's in pretty tip-top condition. I mean, should get about maybe an 80 by UKG. I mean, there's not. I guess by the time these figures came out, I was getting a bit old, so I just bought them, played with them a little bit, but not much. That's Bib Fortuna, Hong Kong CO. I'll probably pick up a loose graded version anyhow, but I mean, you can get them for about £50. But it'd be fun to send this in to see what grade it would get. Peace. I bring you peace. Okay, so that's Bib Fortuna. Great sculpt. I mean, the new vintage collection figure looks amazing. You'll probably find differences with the eyes as well. But, I mean, best place to go is to look at Variant Villain or Imperial Gunnery. The only thing I don't like about the new vintage collection figure is the legs. They're using the Lando legs. I'd rather they did something like this, sculpt it with a sort of very stylized boots, shoes he's got on. I guess we don't see what he's wearing in the movie though. So that's your Hong Kong. It's got a sort of mid-grey staff, sort of dark spearmint colour. Then we got this one, which is the Lili-Ledy. It's graded 80, Star Wars, Bib Fortuna Green Cape, Lili-Ledy, 1983, Lucasfilm Limited Hong Kong COO, but this is the Mexican version. Very nice. So you can see that his lips are very pale, very white. It's like I said last time, it's like he's been brushing his teeth and the toothpaste is smeared all over his lips. see if we can see any differences between these two. Yeah, I mean, you can see that skin tone's quite different. The lips, the eyes, the cape itself in colour tone. It has the same footholes there. Also, the Mexican has the shorter cape. I think you can tell that, see that. Yeah, nice to see the differences between the figures though. Definitely the skin tone used, the white lips on the Mexican figure. The staff's also darker. If you go on Villain, it might tell you that there's slightly different sculpting details, like the size of the hole is different. Let's see on this side. Yeah, it looks, this one. Yeah, you can see differences, definitely. So, very nice to compare these two. So that's your Mexican Lili-Ledy and your Hong Kong. We'll keep the Hong Kong as the standard. Then we got let's start with the one I just bought, which is this one here, which is the Taiwan Bib Fortuna. It's graded 80, figure gets 80, paint 85, cape 80. Bib Fortuna Taiwan COO. So he's almost got a green, it's definitely paler than the Mexican figure. They look quite similar, these two. That's the Hong Kong, which is the loose one, and that's the Taiwan. His cape's more reddish brown. Same placement for the footholes, more or less. Yeah, very similar, but slight differences. Maybe the stitching. He's got a lighter staff, maybe lighter than a Lili-Ledy, but still it looks slightly darker than the Hong Kong. Nice. Yeah, you can really see how much lighter the Hong Kong cape is. These two are probably more alike in terms of the colours used. And then this one is the No-Ku figure. It's graded 85. Looks like figure 90, paint 85, cape 85. So good score for this. This is the sort of figure you'd find on the Tri-Logo card. So let's compare him with the Hong Kong. I mean, you've got to really study these figures up close to see any differences. I mean, maybe the texture of the cloth is a bit thicker on this one. I know that the holes on the No-Ku are different to the others. They're more centered, whereas on these they're at the back of the foot. So we get that in a good view. Yeah. Different hole placement. So that's quite an interesting variant. So let's compare the faces. So this one is the No-Ku and this is the Taiwan. They look pretty similar. I mean, you can see this cape is a slightly more reddish brown, whereas this one's a bit more green on the No-Ku. I mean, you have to really look at these figures closely to find any differences. I mean, this one looks quite startled. And then this one here is the Mexican. As you can see, the Mexican has that toothpaste smile. darker skin complexion, and but the capes seem quite similar. Very similar, except in the Mexican one looks a bit shorter. Staff. I still think the Mexican one's the darkest staff out of the lot. They do look nice together, they present well. It's a nice little focus. So it's my third graded Bib Fortuna. Obviously I've got him on the Tri-Logo card and the Kenner card. Return of the Jedi from 1983-84. Have I got him on the, what have I got? I've got him on the, now I've got him on the Tri-Logo twice. So that would be the Noku figure. It's nice to see them all together. And yeah, definitely need to get the vintage collection figures soon. I will do. They do look great together. It's a very tall figure. It's a classic. Hopefully they'll do this in the retro collection. It's just such an amazing piece. I mean, they nailed it in 1983 and it's taken till 2022 to equal it with the vintage collection Bib Fortuna. These are beautiful figures. Yeah. So yeah, I need the Hong Kong loose graded. I don't know any other versions to collect really. Got Taiwan. Obviously there's the burgundy which goes for a bomb, which is beyond me nowadays. But yeah, nice little focus there. Anyway, cheers. I hope you like looking at these. Listen to me waffle. Cheers, goodbye.